Before I leave attorney fees, let me tell you about some correspondence I came across. Some years ago, I thought it was a joke initially, but I actually talked to one of the lawyers, and she assured me it was not. This involves a lawyer out in Laramie, Wyoming, a rather small town, I think, population a little bit under 30,000. And lawyer Becky Klemt, K-L-E-M-T, is a member of a four-lawyer firm in Laramie, and she had represented a Ms. Brumell, Marcia Brumell, in a domestic matter, and the ex-husband, Stephen Brumell, owed a modest amount of money on this judgment, a little over $4,000, and Stephen Brumell was not in Laramie, he was out in Irvine, California. So Ms. Clamp told me she got out Martindale Hubble and just started writing some letters to lawyers out in that area, asking them, telling them about, first of all, the judgment, enclosing a copy of it, and then asking if they would be interested in collecting this judgment, and if so, your fees for doing so. Well, she didn't really hear back from much anybody, but she did hear from one gentleman who was nice enough to at least respond, and this was a fellow named Stephen Corris. And I have a copy of his letter here. Dear Ms. Clamp, I apologize for not getting back to you sooner, but I've been in and out of the office for the past 6 weeks. Seems that there's never enough time. So true. I want to thank you for offering me the opportunity to collect the judgment on behalf of Ms. Brumell, but I must decline. Without sounding pretentious, my current retainer for cases is a flat $100,000 with an additional charge of $1,000 per hour. Since I specialize in international trade and geopolitical relations between the Middle East and Europe, my clientele is very unique and limited, and I am afraid I am unable to accept other work at this time. I'm enclosing the copy you sent of the judgment. And again, Ms. Clamp, I thank you for your thoughts. It was very nice of you. Now, you can imagine this letter hitting a four-lawyer firm in Laramie, Wyoming. So she let it sit there for several days, showed it to her partners, and decided to write back Mr. Stephen Corris, but this time instead of Mr. Corris, it's Dear Steve. Steve, I've got news. You can't say you charge $100,000 retainer fee and additional $1,000 per hour without sounding pretentious. It just can't be done. Especially when you're writing to someone in Laramie, Wyoming, where you consider pretentious that you wear socks to court. Hell, Steve, all the lawyers in Laramie put together don't charge $1,000 an hour. Anyway, we were sitting around the office discussing your letter and decided you had a good thing going. And therefore, the four lawyers in our firm intend to join you in the practice of international trade and geopolitical relations between the Middle East and Europe. Now, Steve, you're probably thinking that we don't know anything about the Middle East and Europe, but I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to find that this is not the case. My partner, Paul Shire, is actually from the Middle East. He was raised outside of Chicago, Illinois, and to us, if it's between New York and Missouri River, it's the Middle East. Steve, let us know when we should join you in California so we can begin doing whatever it is that you do. In anticipation of our move, we've all been practicing trying to say we charge $1,000 an hour with a straight face. So far, we haven't been able to do it. I suspect it'll be easier once we actually reach California. Let's look down page 5, confidentiality.